Good morning, and thank you all for your time to participate in today's presentation. As Paul mentioned, my name is Erasmus Aqua. I am Senior Global Product Manager with Honeywell. At Honeywell, I am responsible for the global fire portfolio for Honeywell Building Solutions, or HBS. So I have 2 decades of experience in the life safety industry, and that is across various vertical markets and also geographical markets. And so today I will be presenting on the topic life safety solutions for today's challenges. I'd like to begin with recent incident statistics to highlight the significance of the kind of discussions we are having today. And so here are some statistics from a report released by the U.S. Fire Administration. Now, the report highlights the increasing nature of non-residential fires and also the increasing deadly nature of these fires, as well as the increasing costly impact of these incidents on our lives, businesses, and communities. And so these statistics are a reminder that these things still happen. And my goal today is to share some available tools that can help us improve on these statistics. Now, on the right-hand side of this slide are some of the details of the U.S. Fire Administration reports that I referenced in the previous slide. These numbers are of concern to many of you, facility managers and the C-suite executives and directors on the call today, as it relates to ensuring reliable protection for your staff or the people that rent your facilities, and of course the assets that are in these buildings as well. Now, there is also the concern due to risk of building operation disruptions if there's a fire incident. So the question is, how can businesses swiftly mitigate fire incidents and prevent operations disruptions? Now, due to these unfortunate statistics, there has been stricter code enforcement too. So then there is a concern about how to ensure consistent compliance to applicable building codes for the various jurisdictions, and for some of you who have facilities across the nation. Then there's also the increasing maintenance costs that you have to deal with. Not only building owners or businesses are concerned about these unfortunate statistics. Investors, vendors, customers, and other stakeholders are also concerned because when there's fire, they are also impacted. So with all these concerns from various stakeholders, what are the attributes of the fire protection system or life safety system that should matter to facility managers, directors, and maintenance managers or C-suite executives who are responsible for all these facilities? So it begins with having real-time visibility of the life safety system from multiple locations, including remote locations. Now, this helps, especially when there's an incident, to mitigate potential faults before even incident can happen and compromise the safety of occupants and assets in the building. And the next step is also the next attribute that I think facility managers should desire is a means to streamline the compliance processes, and that includes the way the compliance tests are performed, how reports and documents are managed, as well as how to manage the audit process itself. And then the third key attribute that I believe that managers should desire is a more efficient maintenance approach that minimizes the risk of catastrophic equipment failure and business operation disruptions. And so then, what do facility managers and businesses need to have in place in order to benefit from these attributes? The first thing that I believe we should look at is how we do maintenance traditionally. One form of traditional maintenance is reactive maintenance. Now, this approach essentially accepts equipment failure. And when there's a failure, of course, the people in the building will complain. And then your brand will start taking a hit. You bring in a technician from outside to come and fix the problem. The challenge is between the time the issue happened, there would have been warning signs or faults that if there was a means to see everything happening in the life safety system, we could have addressed the fault before it turned into a bigger problem. Now, there's also a chance that between the time that the technicians show up to fix, if there was a true fire incident, there was a chance that the system will not be able to detect, early. The early detection system may not work, and so it could leave the building to vulnerable to a major fire incident. But the thing is, when this technician shows up and fix the problem that occurred, there could be many other problems that the technician would not know at the time. And so what happens is the issue will repeat. Well, between the repeat and when the technician last visited, if there is a true major fire incident, again, the system may not be able to detect the early incident, may not detect the incident early. So early detection will not work, leaving the building vulnerable, and it's going to cause, so this maintenance approach is not suitable for preventing building operation disruptions, and it's not suitable for optimizing protection of the people, occupants of the facility, and the assets. There's also the traditional plant maintenance that requires technicians to show up and service the life safety system, whether it's fire protection system, periodically. Now, while this plant maintenance is an improvement on reactive, it is still hoping to find problems when the technician shows up. Here again, between the time the last maintenance was done and the technician shows up, there could be faults that were occurring, and the system will compensate for itself, or the system will get to a point where there's a breakdown. It could be false alarm because the fire detection system, the detectors may have reached their sensitivity threshold and nobody knew that. And it was not picked at the last plant maintenance. So it goes into alarm, it disturbs everybody, occupants gets upset, they call, and then you bring technicians to fix it. And here again, between the time the maintenance schedules and the time an equipment failed, if there was a true fire incident, there's a chance that the early detection will not work, leaving the facility vulnerable. And so plant maintenance also is susceptible to building operation disruptions and does not optimize protection for assets and occupants in the facility. But there is a better way. How about a new approach? Okay, and this is proactive maintenance. Now, technological advances in the fire protection industry today have enabled capabilities to use data to activate what has come to be what has been termed as digitized maintenance. Digitized maintenance provide what you call a window of opportunity to predict the occurrence of problems and then address the root cause of the problem before failure occurs. and then before the occupants of your facility start complaining. Digital maintenance also provide the opportunity to keep the life safety system reliable, particularly your fire protection system, ensuring early detection of incidents, and then also allowing fast mitigation of incidents and prevent business operation disruptions. And that is where I want to focus my presentation today. Digitized maintenance is the better way. And my goal is to, share some available tools related to digital maintenance to you today. So you can consider these for your ongoing project, your future, projects, and then also, retrofit fire protection needs to ensure that, your facilities are adequately protected against these incidents. So as I mentioned, digital maintenance is certainly the better way that minimize concerns with fire protections in buildings. And among the key benefits of digital maintenance is one of them is how it minimizes commissioning time and operation disruptions. So for the project managers, the directors of facilities, and the C-suite executives responsible for various facilities across the country, you would know that fire protection contributes to a small fraction of construction spend, and yet it is the one thing that, unless commissioned, building operations cannot commence. And so for the building operations managers and project managers, you want to make sure that fire protection is complete and it's up so you can get your facility to use. And the more the fire protection commission delays, the more potential revenue impact is going to have on your facility use and your business. Now, traditionally, the authorities having jurisdiction, which or the building codes, which are driven by the NFPA codes, requires that all devices, the fire protection devices, get tested in a facility as part of the commission process. Now, this will mean if you have thousands of these devices, especially the smoke detectors and the heat detectors, this will mean getting somebody on a ladder, in some cases lifts, and other cases scaffolding, especially in industrial application, to get somebody up to the ceiling and then spray a kind of smoke to activate the device. And you do that for all devices. And this can be time-consuming and labor-intensive. And until all these devices have been tested and considered to be have passed the test, your building commissioning can be waiting, and that is a problem. It can delay building operation commencement. And this goes the same for the compliance testing that these regulatory authorities, including NFPA or the authority having jurisdiction, Joint Commission, or in some cases DMV for healthcare applications, they will require that you test these devices. And so even when the building has been commissioned, you won't be repeating these processes. And these have the potential to disrupt your building operation. In fact, they do disrupt your building operations and can have revenue impact. And so what digitized maintenance has done is to minimize the time it takes to commission these systems. Today, there are devices that can test themselves. You don't need to get anybody on a ladder. And I'll get into some of these things shortly. These devices comply with the code requirement, NFPA, and then they are also UL listed. And so there are systems that help minimize the time it takes to commission or the operation disruptions during this compliance testing. There's also the second attribute that digitized maintenance also provide is that the benefit that it enables the facility managers, the directors responsible for various facilities to have real-time visibility of what is going on in your facilities as it relates to your life safety system or the fire protection system. And so from your office or from your cell phone or a tablet, you can see all the facilities that you are responsible for across the country, including the buildings, not just campus, the campus and the buildings. You can see how many devices have corrective actions, or how many, and you can see how many of the corrective actions actually violate code, how many of them are overdue for compliance inspection, and then how many of them have been having frequent faults and also troubles. You can see all these things. Another good thing is it also helps you to get an oversight, provide oversight during the compliance testing. Now, there are incidents in the industry where, technicians have, showed up, sat in cafeterias in their cars and check boxes on papers to say that these devices have been tested, and it was found not to be true. Today, with the traditional ways of testing these fire protection systems, those things can happen. But with digitized maintenance solutions, no, the facility manager or maintenance manager can have real-time oversight while the test is going on from the cell phone or from the computer, seeing that all devices that need to be tested are being tested. Another key attribute is how digitized maintenance help to streamline the entire compliance process. It brings a lot of automation to the way life safety systems are managed, and the compliance processes are managed. And this results in a lot of cost savings. These automations minimize the impact of building operations. So your building can still continue working whilst these tests are being performed without the need to evacuate certain spaces for technicians to get in. And then also how you manage all the whole compliance process. All these things can be automated and enhance efficiency of the whole process. So let's look at an example of a life safety system that is digitized maintenance enabler that is in the market. And I will use one that I deal with every day. And this is the new Honeywell Life Safety Solutions. This solution has three key components: the fire alarm panel, detectors that test themselves, they call self-test detectors, and then a cloud platform that helps to deliver tremendous automation to the ways life safety systems are managed and in the industry today. Now, the first component, the fire alarm system, or what we call the XLS 4000 fire alarm panel, is the backbone of the system. This system is modular expandable, and so from the same enclosure, you can expand the capabilities of your fire alarm system as your need, the fire protection need, grows in the building. Either you are adding new sections or repurposing some rooms to add suppression and other things. You can expand the capabilities through hardware and software means. You don't have to always put a can on the wall. Now, this panel is also backward compatible with previous generation Honeywell solutions. And so this system, being the backbone, really revolutionized the way we do life safety system. We manage the system. We do the compliance test and inspection because it comes with software advances that support digitized maintenance. The second key component, as I mentioned, is self-test device detectors. These detectors are the first of its kind in the industry, and they come in smoke detection detectors, heat, and then a combination of smoke and heat. These devices are UL listed and they test themselves. So you can imagine if you are a maintenance manager or facility manager for a healthcare institution, you can have the OR or operating room or the ER being used while technicians test fire protection system. They do not need to get into the room and contaminate the space or stop the use of the OR room or the ER room, or even bring them in at odd hours and pay overtime for the service. The room can continue to be used whilst these technicians will be there to perform the test and inspections. The CLSS is the third key component or connected life safety service. And this again is a software, a cloud-based platform that helps to deliver tremendous automation to the way we manage life safety system. Here are some of the key benefits of the Honeywell system. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all these, key benefits, but these are designed, this system is designed to provide the flexibility and the reliability that modern commercial, industrial facilities, as well as special purpose facilities require when it comes to fire protection. And it delivers the kind of things that we have mentioned earlier, the benefit that digitized maintenance deliver to the industry today. So what digitized maintenance system delivered to the industry today? What I would like to do is I'll end with a short video that will highlight the benefits of this Honeywell digitized solution that is digitized maintenance enabled, and then you can see how this is changing the way we do things in the industry today. So I'm going to show the video now.
At Honeywell, we bring a world of experience to fire protection and life safety. But that doesn't stop us from asking how we can do it even better. By making compliance more efficient, making sure testing doesn't disrupt your operations, right-sizing a system for your application, one you can monitor from anywhere at all times. Once you've asked the right questions, the solution becomes clear. A single platform, starting with a fire alarm control panel that delivers protection, scalability, efficient monitoring, and enables remote services, combined with self-testing detectors that allow a technician to remotely initiate regulatory compliance testing without disrupting critical building functions or occupants. All driven by Honeywell Connected Life Safety Services, delivering a complete current view of the fire system to facility managers and service technicians. Honeywell's life safety integration solutions are designed to deliver efficient commissioning and maintenance and help with compliance process management to keep buildings and campuses connected and compliant, and the people who use them protected. Which, after all, is what our decades of experience really boils down to.
So thank you very much for your attention. I will now pause to take some questions from the audience. I see there are some couple of questions in the chat already, so I will begin with the questions in the chat. One of them is, how many self-tests can be achieved with the Honeywell self-test detectors over the life of the detector? So these detectors are designed for a minimum of 100 self-tests. And so if you are in a jurisdiction that requires annual testing, which means these can test themselves for a whole 100 years. If you require semi-annual testing, then it's 50 years of life. If it's quarterly, then you have 25 years of life. So as you can tell, this will outlive some of us on the call today. There's a question about, is this system on copper lines or can they be cellular? So this system on cellular, I mean, we provide the cellular connectivity because facility managers usually would not want to have fire protection tied to the internet infrastructure. So they can be both, but we provide the cellular connectivity for this system. There's a question also about for the self-test detectors, does it only work to test via the mobile app, or does the cloud-based monitoring platform allow for fleet tests? Yeah, so the cloud-based testing can be done through the mobile app, on a cellular phone or on a tablet. That's what we have, and that's for the Honeywell self-test detectors. So on mobile phone, and the reason is part of the code requires that technicians should be at a place close to where the device is. So what we have done is we force technician to be within about a Bluetooth range at 33 feet. So the technician has to be within a Bluetooth range to activate the test of the device. So the moment that the technician gets into where the device is mounted within Bluetooth range, the Bluetooth communication between the cell phone and the detector activate the test so that we can still meet the compliance requirement, which means that the technician can also do the visual inspection. So whilst within the vicinity, either looking into a window or lifting up his head to see what is what is mounted on to make sure that the device is mounted on the ceiling. I have answered the question, internet connectivity. It's not required. You can achieve the connection through internet connectivity is not required, but it can be used. You can achieve it through cellular network and not internet connectivity. And in the US, the Honeywell product comes with, AT&T, Verizon, but any cellular connectivity will be available. It's another question. Does the use of Honeywell self-test detectors comply with NFPA 72? Absolutely. The Honeywell self-test device that UL listed complies with NFPA 72 requirements, Joint Commission requirement for healthcare, and DMV requirement also for healthcare. As I mentioned, part of the requirement is for a technician to be close to be able to do visual inspection as well. And so in addition to doing the self-test that the technician is forced to be in the vicinity of the detector by getting into a Bluetooth range so they can also do the visual inspection. There's a question, but what kind of training does Honeywell provide for facility managers after installation? We provide facility managers training, and this is very customized to your needs. So facility managers will be given access to, they will have what we call facility managers rights. If it's a self-test facility, we provide you adequate training, including what could be administrative rights. And your facility staff will also have access on their cell phone. So we'll provide you training to be on how to use this tool for your facility. It's another question. Can this be installed in places of existing fire system? Yes, this can be installed in place of existing fire system. It will require retrofitting. You will need Honeywell panel and the self-test devices to make it work. So you would have to essentially, if it's not a Honeywell solution that will require retrofitting, you have to replace the solution with a Honeywell solution. There's a question, how does this device test itself? So in the smoke detector, we have a wax in it. That small piece of it will melt when we activate the test. and that will simulate smoke to actually put the device into alarm mode. In the heat detector, we have a little bit of filament that heats to simulate heat and also activate the system. There's some few more questions in the chat, but we are on top of our time is up now. So I will leave it over to our team. We'll gather some more questions and provide some more responses. But thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for your participation in today's presentation. I will now hand over to Paul to continue from here. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Erasmus, for the great presentation, and we appreciate everybody joining today, and this concludes our event.